G.T. Bynum, and on behalf of all the citizens of Tulsa, I want to say cheers for 60 years to the whole team out there at Saint Simeon's. You know, Saint Simeon's is an incredibly important Tulsa institution. I know about just the impact it's had with my family. My granddad, former Mayor Bob LaFortune's been on the Western Days Committee for years. My great uncle, Buddy LaFortune, was a resident there, as was my predecessor, Mayor Jim Hughley. And through all those interactions, I've seen just what a remarkable job the team at Saint Simeon's does. I also know what great work the team there does in making this a better city for everyone. When we launched the Dementia Friendly Tulsa initiative, that's a grassroots effort to help people from throughout our community be more engaged in how they can best serve our neighbors with dementia. The team at Saint Simeon's was one of the first to sign up for a training workshop. I couldn't talk about Saint Simeon's without mentioning my friends George and Phyllis Dotson, who've known me since I was about 2 feet tall and do so much for everybody out there. And so on behalf of all the citizens of Tulsa, again, I want to say thank you and congratulations.
And that's our mission, that's our goal, is not just to place until they go through that end of life transition. It is really a place where we are giving them an experience of life itself and however they're able to participate. So it's a joyful time in their lives. It's a meaningful time in their lives. It's a time that enhances their, I think is so important. And I think that's why so many in the diocese support the ministry that we're doing there at St. Simeon's, because they see how important it is, not just to the people that are there, but the ministry that it provides for the people who give the care. You talk about our frontline people. I think they're a special group of people because they don't just go through the motions. They do the work that's above and beyond in caring for and loving those who are our residents. And I think those in our larger diocese recognize that, and that's why they support us so much.
Welcome to this year's Western Days celebration. Beth and I are honored to chair this year's event in St. Simeon's 60th year. What an accomplishment for the Tulsa community. What an accomplishment for everybody associated with St. Simeon's. We thank you from the bottom of our heart, and we thank you, the patrons, for all of your support during all these years. We knew this year was going to be eye-opening and exciting, but we had no idea what lay in store. And now, due to the circumstances we're under, we're honored to bring you this Reimagine Western Days 2020 video tribute.
Many of you have had the opportunity to attend Western Days over the years, dating back to 1996. We are so thankful for your support. Because of your generosity, St. Simeon's has been able to continue our mission into many facets of senior care, including our world-class memory unit and our Parkinson's support. Scott's mother lived at St. Simeon's, and so we know firsthand the quality of care and love each resident and their family receives.
We had hoped to be celebrating this event with you in the brand new remodeled Cox Convention Center, where we were scheduled to be the first event. Plans had been made, tours had been taken, we all wore our hard hats. It was an exciting time. However, things changed and we're now doing this via video. You've also heard from Bishop Ed and his love and feelings about the mission and ministry St. Simeon's provides and the outstanding and unparalleled care the caregivers provide to the residents. During this video, you're going to hear more about their stories. Those are the true heroes and saints. You're also going to hear from CEO Angela Green, and you're going to hear more conversations from some of the families of the residents and how they've been impacted by the caregivers of St. Simeon's. So sit back and relax, grab your favorite beverage, your favorite chair as we get started. And don't forget to tune into the end of the video where we're going to announce a few surprises.
Scott and I have been so pleased to be part of this year's Western Day planning and work alongside our advisors, Melissa and Max Stallcup, and our patron chair, Hillary Clark. But none of this would be possible without the vision and leadership of this year's honorary chairs, Phyllis and George Dotson. Phyllis and George have been involved at the home for over 30 years. They love the residents and give so tirelessly of their time. While we'd hope to be celebrating you in person, Phyllis and George, we are so pleased to announce you as our 2020 Western Days Honorary Chairs.
Cheers to you,
Phyllis and George.
We would like to say thank you for your generosity, and we hope this gave you an opportunity this year in a very different format because of the coronavirus to not be able to all be together like we were last year at the Cox Convention Center, over 700, but you still reached out and contributed money because you love Saint Simeon's. We all have different stories over 60 years, and we thank you for helping us to raise the money so important that at the end of the video we can tell Angela, this is what we've raised, and it's going to go directly to helping the residents provide the care they need. So thank you. Because of your support, this has been a very successful event.
People who participate and make contributions see a direct response by the home to that gift. They see improved services. They see, in some cases, the addition of certain equipment. For instance, last year we raised money for, it turned out to be $100,000. That's what the bus cost, and it's an unusual bus, but it takes people in wheelchairs. And I think that people see very tangible results produced by their support, financial support of Western Days. The essence of St. Simeon's continues to be the personal touch. And I don't want to see us lose that as we go forward. Today, the leadership at the home, the leadership in the boards of trustees, they coalesce, they're in the same direction. There's no danger of that happening, but 20, 30, 40 years from now, could that change? I hope not, and I believe as long as we continue to think about the residents, and the residents, we'll be okay. I heard a priest say, St. Simeon's is about honoring your parents, and there's nothing that transcends all the reasons you could give that can come in close to comparing with honor your parents. We have been so fortunate to have bishops that were fully supportive of St. Simeon's. The bishop has been very prominent in his support. He's been early in his support of us. We have had financial support in the sense that we've had outright grants that have helped us add to our physical plant here. We have had, as we moved into a period when our occupancy was a little slow, they gave us funds to make up for that. So I've mentioned before how important it is to have good financial standing and backing. The diocese has been a primary mover in that.
Our mom, Danny Sue, was a resident in the memory unit at St. Simeon's. We fell in love with it the first time we visited.
We felt so blessed our mom was able to live there. All the employees were so good to her.
All the employees put their heart and soul into everything they did, and for that we'll forever be grateful. So on behalf of me and my sisters, we want to say thank you and God bless, and cheers to 60 years.
They call me Sparkles because I sparkle. My favorite thing about working at St. Simeon's is, like I said before, the level of care that they provide here. It's not very often that you are able to come to the facility, and facility-wide they provide amazing care. They're really compassionate. Everyone cares, from the housekeeping staff on up to the administration staff. Everybody cares about the resident.
I grew up at Trinity Episcopal Church, and Dr. Eckel was a great rector of the church for 30 years, and he was a great visionary, and he was a Rhodes Scholar, great preacher, great pastor, and he wanted the church to expand in the city, so he founded 4 daughter parishes to Trinity.
The Reverend Dr. Edward Eckel had a dream that Tulsa would be a great location for a home for seniors in the eventide of life. In the early 1950s, he worked with Roy Hoffman and soon established a nonprofit corporation for this project. In 1958, the dream moved one step closer to reality when a 22.5-acre plot of land on a hill overlooking downtown Tulsa was purchased for $45,000, with Dr. Eckel's Trinity Episcopal Church parishioners donating the entire amount.
Yeah, minutes from downtown, miles from ordinary. I like that. And that's very true, too.
It took 2 years before what we now know as Saint Simeon Senior Living Community opened its doors in 1960. Phase 1 included 12 resident rooms, a lounge, a kitchen, and a dining room. Just 4 residents, 3 women and 1 man, called St. Simeon's home those first months. A hostess was hired, Mrs. Welch, along with a cook, maid, and yard man. In the spring of 1966, yet another of Dr. Eckel's visions became a reality. A 21-bed infirmary was completed, and a registered nurse was hired as medical director.
Actually, I first came out when we moved here, and we moved here 50 years ago from Boston. And the reason I love being in at St. Simeon's, I feel like it's my extended family. We are one big family, all of us. And I came out because we joined St. John's Episcopal Church, and I knew a lot of our parishioners lived out here. And I'm a nurse, and I had worked in Boston at a retirement facility as a very young student nurse 60 years ago. And I knew what we needed to provide for the residents, but I also knew as a nurse I needed to help the nurses and the staff if we could do anything as volunteers. I wanted to hear the stories of the residents. So my children and I and George would come out, and we got to know the residents, we got to know their family members, we got to know Jack, and we had a very vibrant auxiliary. We said, what can we do to make the life happier for the residents?
St. Simeon's was growing. The board had purchased an additional 19 acres adjoining the property to allow for future growth. The auxiliary had grown to more than 400 members. In the 80s, 2 additional residential wings were added, along with 2 duplexes and a new medical center infirmary. Still, the home was near capacity, and the wait list swelled to more than 100 applicants. Construction continued, adding St. Anna's Chapel and the common room.
In getting my first assignment here on the board, I was told we want to build a 50-unit independent living facility and take charge of it. So I thought about it, and we began to do some planning, architect, all that sort of thing. And it dawned on me that that's not where we wanted to be. So we took a year for a planning exercise. That's when we discovered that really we were standing on top of what the real need was, and that was for dementia. We had maybe 10 dementia patients at the time, and we had put together an effective wing for them, but it was not a good use of space or time. So we decided that we would build a new one. We had an architect that was very interested in finding a new solution to an old problem. And we estimated $5 million. We were able to raise the money. The diocese has been our best financial friend over many years. And they stepped in with $2 million of the $5 million. We raised the other $3. In 1994, we opened that, and it was truly a groundbreaking event, both for the care of people with dementia, and also it was something that we were willing to turn loose of, and many other facilities copied the design that we have. So it goes on today.
Healthcare Center Courtyard was transformed with the addition of a water garden pool, bronze statue, new plantings, and 2 beautiful peacocks. In 2005, residents were treated to even more upgrades. A great room was added to the healthcare center, offering a beauty barbershop and a spa-like bathing area, as well as audio, visual, and physical stimulant areas. The end of the decade, however, saw the home's most ambitious plans. In 2009, a $23.3 million campaign to replace 3 wings with a new assisted living center, including 60 new apartments, a state-of-the-art wellness center, plus new activity, entertainment, and dining areas, was successfully completed.
The early 2000s, we could see that our facility was aging in place, and we needed to do a major overhaul of that. And we began to look at it and said, no, let's not overhaul it, let's build new. And we did a lot of design work. We estimated $12 million. We set about raising the money, but we wound up with a budget of $23 million. But in that, we had a saline, warm water pool, and some other things. But we raised the money for that. We had the money committed in our favor before we started that project. We started it in 2007, finished it in 2009, and I was always pleased that the trustees and the donors were willing to see the value that St. Simeon's brought to the older community in Tulsa. So again, it gave us all great satisfaction, and we're out sitting today and part of that.
After the Dodson Assisted Living Center was completed debt-free, Saint Simeon's has continued to upgrade and improve, including the renovation of 5,300 square feet of communal living and dining areas in the healthcare center known as the Bishop's Plaza. Most recently, Saint Simeon's has taken a leading role in Parkinson's disease care in Northeast Oklahoma. Dr. Eckel's vision and heart for ministry are evident each time one enters the gates of Saint Simeon's. Our continued support from generous donors ensures his vision of providing compassionate care for those in the eventide of life will be lived out, and that we will continue to maintain the best possible care at a reasonable cost for all residents.
We've had other experiences as a family at St. Simeon's. Our grandmother was there in the early 80s. My mother-in-law was there probably in 2014 and 15. So St. Simeon's has been part of our lives in one way or another for really our whole adult lives in some sense.
Never a question. And
it was his choice.
It was his choice to go, but it was never a question of where.
Well, my point is that would have been his choice.
Yes,
so
yes.
We didn't even consider anywhere else.
But I applaud them, because I think that has to be extremely stressful. And they're having to be very creative in keeping their residents happy and still providing good care. So I'm very, very pleased.
The amount of caring and effort and self-sacrifice in the sense of, I know they're not doing things outside of St. Simeon's they would like to be doing, because they don't want to expose themselves and then potentially expose the residents.
There have been so many bright spots in the last few months as we've gone through all these challenges. People just amaze me how they rise to the challenge. And Bishop Ed is a great example of how when we were really in dire straits with running out of face masks, he literally scanned the globe to find 10,000 face masks that arrived one day before we would have completely run out of face masks. So he was definitely our hero in that situation. I think of Amanda Terrell, who is our administrator, and she's a brand new administrator. This is her first job. She had no idea a year ago when she signed on for this what was going to be presented to her. And she has absolutely soared and has met every bit of this challenge head on and led with grace and clarity and confidence, and has done a beautiful job leading our team. I think about how Life Enrichment and all of our team has had to completely rethink how they do their jobs. None of the group activities that were so much a part of their daily responsibilities are even allowed and haven't been since March. And so they have had to come up with socially distanced bingo and doing remote control cars races down the hallways for the residents, or traveling mariachi band as they go through the facility, or dressing up in silly costumes and just making people laugh. But Cheryl Bates is one that has really touched my heart. She had a special place in her heart for one of our residents, Mr. Kelly, who for 70 years has played chess every single day. And it's part of who he is. It's what he loves to do. And he was having one of the local students that would come and play chess with him once a week, and he lived for that week, for that day of the week, so that he could play chess with his little friend. There's never been anything that's hit this industry the way that this pandemic has. And we have so many regulations already that we follow, and we feel like we're prepared for everything, but nobody saw this coming. And every day has been a challenge because the information is coming at you like out of a fire hose. It's changing all the time. You just get something started and implemented, and then the next day new guidance comes out or more information's been learned, and it's just a constant change. And so the biggest challenge that we've had is consistency and clarity of our message, and keeping everyone safe despite the misinformation that they hear, or the fact that they may be remembering what they were told a week ago and now it's all changed. So the emotional toll that it's taken has probably been the most profound of all of the things that people have experienced through this. And early on, I heard some psychologists talking about the fact that this is like an extended PTSD. And unlike a normal PTSD event, there's one event that occurs and then you start the healing process and you move forward. Well, the trauma just continues, and there isn't an end to that trauma. So there is no post-traumatic. It's just a constant drain on you emotionally, physically, mentally, and that's where it's been the hardest for our frontline staff and everyone involved in all of this, is to maintain the energy and the perseverance to get through all the challenges that we face every day and continue to provide great care to the residents. I just want to thank all of our families for their incredible support through all of this crisis. It's been extremely difficult for you to entrust your residents to our care to begin with, and then it's been so compounded by the fact that you haven't been able to be physically here for them, and you've had to trust us even more than before. And I can't thank you enough for the kind words of encouragement and support that you have extended to us, and the patience and the grace that you have allowed to me. And thank you so much to all of you that have helped sustain us through this. All the additional expenses and not taking new admissions for all these months to be able to keep our own residents safe has really decreased our revenue, and so we are so dependent on you for those donations, and we appreciate the fact that you have been generous and have really made a difference and allowed us to continue to have the incredible staff that we have and to provide the level of care that we hold in such high esteem.
Serving as Saint Simeon's chaplain for the past 15 years has been one of the greatest joys of my life. It is a wonderful thing to spend time with our truly amazing residents, hear stories of their lives, and learn so much from their successes and their struggles. In his original prayer for Saint Simeon's, the Reverend Dr. Edward Eckel spoke of it as home where your servants may dwell in the eventide of life. We have such a great group of people here in our family as residents and staff. Caring for the generations in their eventide of life is our mission. As you would expect, St. Simeon's has a significant veteran presence. We are honored to serve and care for that greatest generation. We gathered a group of wonderful Tulsa musicians and singers who were overjoyed to recognize St. Simeon's veterans through their music. This segment highlights our beloved veterans through music while viewing some of their actual military service photos. We hope you will enjoy this presentation of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home
Hello, my name is Craig Dyson-Roth, and on behalf of my family, I would like to congratulate Saint Simeon's on its 60th anniversary. Saint Simeon's has always held a special place in the heart of my family, as 2 generations have been residents of this fine facility. We have also had the pleasure of personally supporting the activities and residents of Saint Simeon's. The measure of a successful organization lies in the positive impact it creates in the lives of other people. Saint Simeon's is operated by this standard for the past 60 years. I know that with the continued support of our community, that tradition will continue into the future. Congratulations again to Saint Simeon's on reaching this milestone.
Hi, I'm Tom Schooley, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to congratulate Saint Simeon's on 60 years. We also want to thank our staff, the residents, their families, and our supporters. Together, we will continue Saint Simeon's legacy on for 60 more.
Before we could do the window visits, it was really rough. We could visit by Skype, but being able now to see Mom through the window has been amazing.
You should have seen her face when she actually saw us that first time. Because we didn't know that it was going to happen and how it was going to happen, and she really didn't know that it was going to happen, and so it was a complete surprise for her. The very first person I ever interacted here was Joy, and I'll be honest with you, I asked her a question, and I asked every place I went. I found an employee, and I asked them, would you put your mom here? And Joy said, in a heartbeat. And from her then to Kamisha, the next person I saw and met, and from Jeff, who took care of Mom the very first night she came here and assured me that she's going to be all right. She's in good hands, and Jeff's still with her today, and so is Kamisha.
Yeah, those people are all still here, and that's part of the miracle, I think, of St. Simeon, is the staff is consistent, which tells me that the management takes really good care of the staff. They want to be here. They're compassionate.
They care.
They care. They know us. They know her.
And they do care. They care just like she were their mom.
My role at Saint Simeon's is I am the life enrichment assistant. I work in the healthcare field in the healthcare center. I love to hear the stories. I mean, the activities is fun to show that they're still competitive. They're in their 90s and they're still get mad if they lose. But the best part is listening to the stories, how they grew up on farms, how they grew up in big cities, how they've all come to be here, how they met their spouses, how they were in the war. We have a resident that played in the military band in the war, and he tells how he managed that and how lucky he was not to go to fight all the time. So I think just being with the residents is the best part.
My favorite thing about St. Simeon's is the staff. I think they're the most caring, selfless people, and they really love their jobs. They love what they do, and that shows. And that shows in all of the care, the special care that they give to the residents, and that has been very heartwarming for me to see that.
My favorite thing about Saint Simeon's is just the whole experience. It's from the way my father embraced it and enjoyed it, and it was amazed that he could take advantage of this, that we could do it for him. Then you couple in the staff and their caring and complete devotion to not only my father but every resident is just an amazing testament to what the home means to the families and the residents.
And it's compassion. You see it in everyone, from the administration down to the very first person you see at the entry.
Well, working with the residents, they can't always do what their goals are, and when we meet a goal and their happiness about it, that's always a plus.
My husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's back in 2012, and my intention was to care for him at home as much as I could, as long as I could. And in the last 3 years, it became evident that I just couldn't provide the level of care that he was going to require. So I did I call it my due diligence, and looked at facilities, and the name Saint Simeon's kept coming up over and over again. And so I visited it out here and was met with such care and compassion right off the bat that I just knew this was the right place. I can't stay away from this place because I believe in what they're doing, and I just feel like I have to support them.
Hello, St. Simeon's family, and congratulations on 60 years of providing exceptional care to your residents. That type of longevity speaks to the commitment and belief that the Tulsa community has in your mission. My name is Annie Houchin, and our mother, Jola, is a resident in the Memory Care Center.
Hi, I'm Philip Houchin. St. Simeon's has been a great partner for our family as we go through the progression of our mother's medical condition. To me, St. Simeon's means peace of mind. From the beautiful campus overlooking the city of Tulsa to the wonderful staff providing the best care possible, it makes this process much easier.
St. Simeon's appealed to me because it meant giving our mother choices. She moved to St. Simeon's in November of 2019 in the assisted living program. It was customizable and able to meet her needs while giving her a sense of independence. We are thankful for the staff and the quality of care our mother receives. Congratulations yet again.
So one very awesome story from this pandemic over the past 3 months, I actually got married in May, and so our wedding, I was discussing my wedding plans with this resident before my wedding. I mentioned that my husband was a very awkward dancer. She had jokingly said that her husband was very awkward, and so we kind of, connected on that level. And so she offered, she was a ballroom dancer in her prime, and so she offered to, or she mentioned that, and she said, "Can I give you dance lessons?" And so the next day I came back, and she had written an entire letter to me full of dance instructions, like very detailed. She even picked out our wedding song, which is really funny. So it was very detailed, and she got the biggest kick out of it. She loved it. To this day, she mentions it to her family, and she just is so proud of that. And my husband got the biggest kick out of it. So it was awesome.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Hilly, and I'm proud to be a board member at Saint Simeon's. Here at Saint Simeon's, you can expect your individual wants, as well as your needs, to be met with expert skill, caring hands, and ready smiles. It is simply the best place. And I know this from personal experience because my husband was here for 4.5 years. So Saint Simeon's, for 60 years of service, thank you.
Good evening, supporters of Western Days. This is Will Smith, past president of the foundation, wishing you all the home many congratulations on 60 great years of service to the community. And I wish you the very best for 60 good more years to come. Thank you all for your patronage. We hope you enjoy the event this year. Albeit virtual, we're trying hard to keep up our gold standard. We appreciate your taking time to care for us. Thank you. Good night.
The Episcopal Diocese of Oklahoma has been honored to be a strong supporter and close partner with Saint Simeon's for the last 60 years of incredible ministry and service to the wider community. And we're excited to continue to explore what God may have in mind for Saint Simeon's in the next 60 years and beyond. This is important work. We don't know exactly where the path will lead us, but we know that if God has brought us faithfully to this point together, God will continue to be with us as we seek to serve all of God's people, wherever they may be. And that is work that we will continue to do together, hand in hand and arm in arm.
Good afternoon, Bishop Ed.
How are you all?
Doing well. How are you?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Scott Brown. This is my wife, Beth, and we wanted to invite you to one of our Western Days committee meetings. We thought that might kind of be fun. So welcome.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
We just wanted to thank you for all your service. Phyllis and George had a few comments to make, so let me turn it over to them.
Great, thank you.
Well, we just want to say we are so happy to see your faces. We miss you terribly. We know you're enjoying your retirement, but we love you so much. We just wanted to give you some updates, and you'll be the first one to hear about Western Days. Cheers to 60 years. And thank you both, even Debbie, for all you've done for St. Simeon's and made it a cheerful place all these 14 years.
Bishop, I think so many people don't understand the scope of your work. There's 70,000 square miles in the state, 4 million people, 77 counties, and the larger towns and cities have Episcopal churches. And that has been your flock for 14 years. So it's taken a lot of your time. And despite all of those requirements that you've worked on, you have found time to give to us, and we're most appreciative of that. As we're so fortunate to have both of you here. Debbie, I know you've been on a lot of the trips with the bishop, and you've attended many Western Days. It's been great to have you along as well. I think that as we think about your 14 years with us, there have been so many successes, and we wanted to mark those successes in a way that would be memorable and satisfying. And it's on the front doorstep. And Debbie, would you go and bring it in, please? Just be careful. It won't bite. Well, we wanted you to have this memento that we have put together, and I think everyone has seen it at home, and you have a copy.
and we're going to have a copy that goes into the St. Simeon's hallway, so it'll be there for people to think about and see you every time they go by. I wanted to read just a little bit of the inscription on it. In deepest gratitude for your 14 years service, the boards of Saint Simeon's Episcopal Home and Saint Simeon's Foundation have renamed the Resident Benevolent Fund in your honor as the Bishop Ed Resident Benevolent Fund. And we present this on the 15th day of September in the year of our Lord 2020, and on the 14th anniversary of your consecration as the 5th Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Oklahoma. And you can't imagine all we have been through to get the stars aligned on that date. And given by the trustees of the home and the foundation. And while these are words from the heart, they can never convey to you the feelings that each of us have in our hearts and our memories for all that you have done for us.
I don't even know what to say. Saint Simeon's has been a blessing to us in a lot of ways. I've said this to George, to you in the past. I think Angela, I've shared it with you, that a lot of stuff goes on in the life of a bishop, and those occasions when you have the things that energize you and feed you. And Saint Simeon's has been that part of this for me. We've always looked forward to the annual gatherings of the Western Days, and I can't tell you the joy that we've had on the occasions when we've been able to fix meals in people's homes, and to be able to do that together with so many of the supporters of Saint Simeon's. And it's just been an incredible blessing to us, and I can't tell you how much this means to me. I thank you very much for this honor. Again, it has been a joy and a blessing to be part of the St. Simeon's family, and to be able to be present with so many things, and to know that this fund is going to help people. I don't know of another organization that when the funds run out, people keep them around. I mean, it's a unique thing to St. Simeon's, and it's an honor to have this named after Debbie.
Congratulations, Bishop Ed, and thank you for your support during the 60th anniversary celebration. As a presenting sponsor, you and the diocese have done a fantastic job of supporting St. Simeon's over the years. We're appreciative to you, and also to Hillary Clark, our other presenting sponsor. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the staff for everything y'all do for my grandmother and so many others out there. Can't wait till open back up. We can come out there and see the peacocks again and tell everybody hello and get some ice cream. Cheers to the first 60 years, and here's to the next 60. Congrats.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom before me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself,
what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. What a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
As one of the strong supporters for Saint Simeon's, I want to extend my thanks on behalf of the Episcopal Diocese of Oklahoma and the Bishop's Office to all of those wonderful supporters who have continued to make the service of Saint Simeon's possible. It really has taken the support of many. I'm grateful for those who have given large and sacrificial gifts over the years, and equally grateful to those who have made small donations. All of us have worked together to support this marvelous institution that we love.
I just want to give a shout out to Angela. You've done an incredible job managing things through this pandemic, Angela. And you have just been remarkable. From day one, you were prepared, you were anticipating things, and you have responded to everything that's come your way without hesitation. And it's been remarkable. Thank you for everything you do.